What if the very thing you have been doing every single day of your life, the thing that feels completely normal, completely natural, completely harmless, is the exact reason success keeps slipping through your fingers like sand? What if the problem is not your talent? What if the problem is not your timing? What if the problem is not the economy, not your background, not your education, not the people around you? What if the only thing standing between you and the life you have always dreamed of is one invisible habit? A habit so deeply wired into you that you don't even notice you're doing it. Right now, at this very moment, millions of people are working hard, praying hard, trying hard, and still watching success walk in the opposite direction. And the reason will shock you, because it is not about doing more. It is about stopping one thing, just one thing. If you stay with me until the very end of this video, I promise you, the way you see yourself, the way you see success, and the way you show up in this world will never be the same again. Are you ready? Let's begin. What if everything you have been told about success is only half the truth? What if the missing half, the half nobody talks about, the half that gets buried underneath motivation videos and productivity hacks and morning routines, is the real reason you are not where you want to be in life? I want you to think about something very carefully right now. Think about the last time you had a brilliant idea, a dream, a vision for your life that made your heart race and your eyes light up. Now think about what happened next. Did you move toward that idea with full, unshakable confidence? Or did you pause? Did you hesitate? Did a quiet voice inside your head ask, "What will people think?" That pause, that hesitation, that question, "What will people think?" is the one thing that is pushing success away from you. Not the economy, not your circumstances, not bad luck, not the people who doubted you. It is the moment you handed your power to the opinions of others. And here is what is so devastating about this habit. It does not feel dangerous. It feels responsible. It feels humble. It feels like you are being realistic, being careful, being wise. But what it is actually doing is slowly, quietly, systematically dismantling every dream you have ever dared to dream. From the very moment we are born into this world, we are trained, beautifully, lovingly, unintentionally, to seek approval. We cry and someone comes. We smile and someone celebrates. We perform and someone applauds. And slowly, deeply, without anyone meaning to cause harm, we begin to build our entire identity around this one terrifying question: am I good enough in the eyes of someone else? By the time we are adults, this question is not just a habit. It is the operating system of our entire existence. We choose careers based on it. We choose relationships based on it. We choose how to dress, how to speak, how to dream, all filtered through this invisible, suffocating need to be approved of, to be accepted, to be validated by the world outside of us. And success, true success, deep success, the kind of success that brings not just wealth but meaning, not just achievement, but peace. True success cannot live in that environment. It simply cannot breathe there. Let me tell you something that might feel uncomfortable at first, but I want you to sit with it, because discomfort is often where the most profound transformation begins. The opinion someone holds about you is absolutely none of your business. Not because people don't matter, they do. Not because relationships are not important, they are. But because when you make your worth, your direction, your decisions dependent on the shifting, unpredictable, endlessly changing opinions of other people, you are building your life on the most unstable foundation imaginable. Think about this for a moment. The people whose opinions you are so desperately afraid of are themselves carrying their own fears, their own wounds, their own unresolved stories. They are looking at your life through the lens of their own limitations. And you are shrinking your dreams to fit inside that lens. You are making yourself smaller to make others more comfortable. And you call that being careful, but I want to call it what it truly is. It is self-abandonment. Every time you stop yourself from speaking your truth because you are afraid of judgment, you abandon yourself. Every time you dim your light because someone else might feel uncomfortable in its presence, you abandon yourself. Every time you choose the safe path, the expected path, the path that will not disturb anyone, over the path your soul is actually calling you toward, you abandon yourself. And here is what the universe does in response to that self-abandonment. It mirrors it back to you. The energy you send out, the energy of "I am not enough on my own. I need the world to confirm my worth." That energy goes out into the universe, and the universe says, noted and confirmed. And so success stays just out of reach, not because you are unworthy, but because you keep telling the universe, through your actions, through your choices, through your desperate search for external approval, that you do not truly believe you are worthy. Now, I want to talk to you about something that changed the lives of every person who truly understood it. It is the concept of your own self-concept. Your self-concept is not what you think about yourself when things are going well. Your self-concept is what you believe about yourself in the quiet moments, in the moments of doubt, in the moments of failure, in the moments when no one is watching and no one is applauding. And if your self-concept is built on the foundation of I am enough only when others agree that I am enough, then you will spend your entire life performing rather than living. There is a profound difference between performing and living. Performing is when you show up in the world as a version of yourself that has been carefully constructed to receive maximum approval. Living is when you show up as exactly who you are, unedited, unapologetic, unafraid, and you let the world respond however it chooses, knowing that its response does not define your worth. The people who have built extraordinary lives, not just in terms of external achievement, but in terms of genuine inner peace and authentic success, these people made one fundamental decision at some point in their journey. They decided that the approval of others was no longer the currency they were willing to trade their dreams for. They decided that they would rather be rejected for who they truly are than accepted for who they are pretending to be. And I want you to understand what happens energetically when you make that decision, when you stop needing approval, when you genuinely, deeply, from the very core of your being, release the need for the world to validate you. Something extraordinary happens. Your energy changes. Your presence changes. The way you walk into a room changes. The way you speak changes. The way you create changes, because you are no longer creating from fear. You are no longer building from the desperate desire to impress. You are creating from abundance, from genuine purpose, from the quiet, powerful certainty that what you are doing matters, whether or not anyone else sees it yet. And paradoxically, beautifully, perfectly paradoxically, that is exactly when the world starts paying attention. That is exactly when opportunities begin to appear. That is when the right people, the right resources, the right doors begin to open. Not because you chase them harder, but because you stop chasing them desperately. And in that space of genuine self-assurance, success finally found room to come to you. I want you to think about the last time you witnessed someone who was completely, utterly, unshakably comfortable in their own skin. Someone who spoke their truth without apology. Someone who pursued their vision without constantly looking over their shoulder to see if the crowd was still following. Was that person not magnetic? Was there not something about their presence that made you want to lean in, pay attention, trust them? That magnetism is not a personality trait. It is not something some people are born with and others are not. That magnetism is what naturally radiates from a person who has made peace with themselves. It is the energy of someone who no longer needs your approval, and because of that, somehow earns your admiration anyway. Now let me ask you something that I truly want you to sit with. What dream are you sitting on right now because you are afraid of what someone might say? What business have you not started? What conversation have you not had? What creative work have you not put out into the world? What path have you not walked because the thought of being judged, being criticized, being misunderstood felt too heavy to bear? And I want you to recognize something crucial. That dream did not appear in you by accident. Dreams do not randomly arrive in people who are not equipped to pursue them. The fact that a vision exists inside you is already evidence that you have within you everything needed to bring it to life. But you will never discover that evidence as long as you are too busy looking at your life through the eyes of people who are not even living your life. This is the moment, right now, in this moment, to make a different choice. Not a dramatic choice, not a loud public declaration, just a quiet, firm internal shift. A decision that from this day forward, the primary relationship you invest in is the relationship with yourself. A decision that you will no longer outsource your confidence, your direction, your self-worth to a world that is already overwhelmed, managing its own. You were not placed on this earth to live someone else's idea of a good life. You were not designed to be a mirror for the comfort of other people's expectations. You came here with a unique purpose, a unique perspective, a unique contribution, and none of that can be fully expressed, fully offered, fully given to the world, as long as you are more concerned with being approved of than being fully, authentically, powerfully yourself. Stop doing this one thing. Stop asking the world's permission to be who you already are. Stop measuring your progress by the applause you receive. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. Stop waiting for external confirmation of what your inner knowing has already told you. The success you are looking for is not out there waiting for you to earn the world's approval first. It is inside you, fully formed, fully alive, waiting only for you to stop blocking it with the desperate, exhausting, soul-depleting habit of needing others to tell you that you are enough. You are enough. Not when you achieve more, not when you prove more, not when the world finally agrees. Right now, exactly as you are enough. And the moment you truly believe that, not just intellectually, but in your bones, in your breath, in the quiet center of who you are, that is the moment everything changes. Everything we have explored in this speech comes down to one transformative truth. The single habit that pushes success away is the relentless, unconscious, deeply conditioned need to seek approval from others. This one habit shapes your choices, limits your dreams, silences your voice, and keeps you performing a version of yourself that was designed for other people's comfort rather than your own authentic greatness. The path forward is not complicated, but it requires courage. It requires you to look inward rather than outward for confirmation of your worth. It requires you to make peace with the discomfort of being misunderstood, because the people who changed the world were almost always misunderstood first. It requires you to trust the vision that lives inside you more than you trust the opinions of people standing outside your journey. When you stop seeking external approval, you do not become arrogant, you become free. And from that freedom, from that genuine, grounded, unshakable inner freedom, success does not just become possible, it becomes inevitable. The life you have always imagined is not beyond your reach, it has only been beyond your belief. And now you know where to begin. Thank you, from the deepest part of my heart, for giving your time and your attention to these words today. Time is the most precious thing any human being can offer, and the fact that you chose to spend it here, investing in your own growth, your own awareness, your own becoming, says everything about the kind of person you are and the kind of life you are moving toward. I want you to think about the last time you witnessed someone who was completely, utterly, unshakably comfortable in their own skin, someone who spoke their truth without apology, someone who pursued their vision without constantly looking over their shoulder to see if the crowd was still following. Was that person not magnetic? Was there not something about their presence that made you want to lean in, pay attention, trust them? That magnetism is not a personality trait. It is not something some people are born with and others are not. That magnetism is what naturally radiates from a person who has made peace with themselves. It is the energy of someone who no longer needs your approval, and because of that, somehow earns your admiration anyway. I want you to carry something with you as you leave this space today. Not just the ideas, not just the concepts, but the feeling that you are enough, that your dreams are real, that the life waiting for you on the other side of self-approval is more extraordinary than anything external approval could ever build. Go forward now, not with noise, not with performance, but with quiet, powerful, unshakable confidence in who you are. You have everything you need. You always have. Good luck, and thank you. When you stop seeking external approval, you do not become arrogant, you become free. And from that freedom, from that genuine, grounded, unshakable inner freedom, success does not just become possible, it becomes inevitable. The life you have always imagined is not beyond your reach. It has only been beyond your belief. And now you know where to begin. Thank you, from the deepest part of my heart, for giving your time and your attention to these words today. Time is the most precious thing any human being can offer, and the fact that you chose to spend it here, Investing in your own growth, your own awareness, your own becoming says everything about the kind of person you are and the kind of life you are moving toward. Everything we have explored in this speech comes down to one transformative truth. The single habit that pushes success away is the relentless, unconscious, deeply conditioned need to seek approval from others. This one habit shapes your choices, limits your dreams, silences your voice, and keeps you performing a version of yourself that was designed for other people's comfort rather than your own authentic greatness. The path forward is not complicated, but it requires courage. It requires you to look inward rather than outward for confirmation of your worth. It requires you to make peace with the discomfort of being misunderstood, because the people who changed the world were almost always misunderstood first. It requires you to trust the vision that lives inside you more than you trust the opinions of people standing outside your journey.